Iyashikei is a genre of anime that is described as the healing type of anime. The anime are usually slice of life series that portray a calm, soothing type of life. These anime take place in calm, healing environments and often take a sentimental approach towards the characters and the interaction between the characters. Iyashikei anime have become one of my favorite types of anime, and in this video I'm going to go over 5 of these anime that I think are some of the best. And these 5 anime actually are not just the 5 best of this genre, but are 5 of my favorite anime all time. All 5 of these are, in my opinion, must-watches and some of the best I've seen of any genre. And all 5 of these anime happen to be adaptations of manga, and each of the manga are also excellent. So if you prefer reading manga over watching anime, you could read these series as well, or both read them and watch them, because these series are just that good. So the first one is going to be my favorite Iyashikei anime, as well as one of my favorite anime of all time, and it's also one of my favorite manga of all time. And I'd go as far to say that it would be in my top 5 manga of all time, and that is Aria by Kozue Amano. Aria was originally published under the title Aqua, and it ran for 2 volumes under that title before switching magazines and having the name changed to Aria. It began its publication in 2001, and by 2005 it received its first anime adaptation, Aria the Animation, and then it would get a second titled Aria the Natural and a 3rd season titled Aria the Origination, as well as getting several OVA episodes. The story takes place in the future on a terraformed Mars, where the ice on Mars has been melted and most of the planet is submerged underwater. Specifically, the story takes place in a city called Neo Venezia, which is modeled after Venice on Earth. The main character is Akari Mizunashi, who comes to Neo Venezia to become an Undine, which is sort of like a tour guide that paddles around tourists in a gondola and gives tours of the city. The Undines are something of a symbol of the city, so it's a job with a lot of competition and a lot of training that goes into becoming one. The Undines are spread between 3 companies, 2 much larger, Orange Planet and Himeya, and the Aria company that consists of only 2 Undines at a time. Kind of like Sith Lords, there always seems to be master and apprentice Undine for Aria company. Aria company is very small, but it was founded by the most famous Undine and has a really good reputation of being very high quality. Akari comes to Neo Venezia to join this company, and she begins an apprenticeship under a famous Undine named Alicia. She'll begin her training to learn how to become an Undine, and she meets some friends from the other 2 companies who she will spend time training with and practicing rowing skills and learning about Neo Venezia in order to give unique and memorable tour experience to the tourists. The series plot mainly just focuses on the 3 girls exploring the city and discovering its mysteries and practicing and training together. It's kind of hard to do justice to just how special this manga and anime are. It's something you just have to pick up and try yourself to really see what it's about, but I'll do my best to explain why I liked it so much. Out of all Iyashikei anime, this one may be the one that captures the spirit of Iyashikei and healing more than any other. The setting and the characters are so peaceful and have such a vibrant positivity to them that makes every interaction between the characters and every chapter and every episode so special. The manga has some of the most beautiful art I've ever seen. It has this incredible dreamlike quality that gives every location depicted such a unique and almost otherworldly, dreamlike feel to it that I've never experienced in any other media. The 2-page spreads from the manga are some of the most beautiful pieces of art I've seen in any manga period. This one I would definitely recommend both reading and watching, because the anime is great too. They did a very good job, and the additions that they made to the anime were actually really well done, and there has recently been OVA series that have anime original OVAs that continue the story, that features the main cast as more experienced undines that are mentoring a new generation, and those are very good and definitely worth watching. The presentation of the anime is great, and the music and voice acting is very well done, so definitely give this one a watch too. Next we'll have Natsume Yujincho, or Natsume's Book of Friends. Natsume Yujincho started as a manga, releasing in 2003. It was written by Yuki Midorikawa, and it's currently ongoing, and to date it has received 6 seasons of an anime adaptation, as well as 2 movies and some OVA episodes. This is another case where the anime and the manga are both really great and both worth checking out. The story focuses on a high school student named Takashi Natsume who has the power to see yokai. He is an orphan who has grown up to be kind of a loner due to his ability to see yokai, causing him to be distanced and kind of ostracized from his peers. Also, as an orphan, he's bounced around between foster families and not really having any consistent home to grow up in. At the start of the series, he is adopted by a kind couple with no children of their own. He's taken into their home, which is located in a town where his grandmother used to live when she was young. His grandmother also had the power to see yokai, and she is the one that he inherited that power from. His grandmother is deceased before the start of the story, and in her belongings he finds the Book of Friends. The Book of Friends contains the names of yokai that she has taken from the surrounding area. In her youth, she convinced these yokai to give over their name to her some way or another, and by giving up their name, they enter into a type of contract with her where if she calls on them, they would have to obey her. Through the events of the story, Natsume finds this out, and he decides to release the yokai in the Book of Friends from the book and return their names to them. So most of the plot of the story is going to be Natsume meeting the yokai that his grandmother had met in the past and returning their names to them. The story will focus on the bonds he makes with these yokai, as well as the bonds that he makes with his human friends at school. It's great to see how Natsume's character develops as he opens up to his new friends. The story progresses in a somewhat episodic way, where each episode or couple episodes focuses on an interaction with a new yokai. Almost every single one of these storylines are extremely well thought out and are almost unforgettable. There's a lot of variation to the storylines, where some of them will be happy, a lot of them will be bittersweet, and some sad. So throughout the series, you will experience a whole wide range of emotions. In my opinion, this is definitely a must-watch anime. This is definitely one of the best written anime that I have seen in terms of how well the characters are written and the development of the characters. So if that seems interesting to you, definitely give this one a watch or read the manga. And now for third on the list is another one of my all-time favorites, not just in Iyashikei, but of all anime and all manga, and that is going to be Mushishi. Mushishi is a manga written by Yuki Urushibara. It started its publication in 1999. It has been adapted in its entirety into an anime series by the now defunct but great anime studio Artland. The anime adaptation is very good. As I said, it adapts the entire manga, so you don't miss anything by watching the anime over the manga. So either way you choose to experience it, you'll get the full experience. I definitely recommend that you check out one or the other at least. Mushishi takes place in a world where humanity lives alongside strange spirit-like creatures called Mushi. The Mushi are unseen by the majority of people, but they do have effects on the people that come in contact with them. There are many different types of Mushi that have their own type of life cycle and their own peculiar effects on the humans that come in contact with them. Many of these effects cause problems for the people that come in contact with them, causing them a variety of side effects, such as making them fall into a terrible unexplained illness, giving them strange powers such as the power to see future events, or make them lose parts of their memory or make them disappear. There's a very wide variety of mushi and effects that they can have on people. The mushi appear as almost insect-like or plant-like in most cases to the people that can see them. The story focuses around a man named Ginkgo, who is a type of traveling medicine man called a mushishi, who travels around from village to village to help people with the negative effects that they experience due to the presence of mushi or coming in contact with a mushi that has a negative effect on human beings. This anime is organized in a episodic way where each episode focuses on a different case where Ginkgo is trying to help someone with their problems that are due to the mushi. As I mentioned, some people have the ability to see mushi to varying degrees, and due to an event in Ginkgo's childhood, he is able to see mushi extremely well, which makes him the perfect person to become a mushishi and help these people that are having problems that they don't understand. Like in Natsume Yujincho, almost every episode, every chapter is an almost unforgettable experience. Each storyline is extremely well written and well crafted, with extremely memorable, sentimental interactions between characters. It's another one that has a lot of really bittersweet and sometimes sad endings, as well as happy ones, so you'll go through all your emotions on this one as well. This series is going to be an emotional journey for anyone that watches it, and each of the stories are so imaginative and well crafted that while I don't recommend this being a series that you would binge, it is definitely one that I don't think you'll drop anywhere in the middle of it, because I personally couldn't get enough of it and definitely wanted more once it was over. At number 4, we're going to have Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. YKK was originally a manga written by Hitoshi Ashinano, starting publication in 1994. It has gotten an OVA adaptation in 1998, which was 2-episode OVA, and then another 2 episodes in 2002. The OVA adaptations were really good, and they definitely captured the feeling that the manga has, but unfortunately it hasn't gotten a full adaptation, so much of the manga is unadapted, so I would recommend reading the manga on this one. The manga takes place in a post-apocalyptic type world. Many of the cities that were there before have been destroyed, and the population of humans has decreased dramatically. The story takes place in a small town outside of Yokohama, where an android girl named Alpha runs a small cafe. Her master owns the cafe, but he's been gone a long time and has left her in charge. So she lives a quiet life running the cafe, even though she rarely ever gets any customers. Most of the series focuses on her interactions with the people living in the small town, as well as another android named Kokone, who she meets when she goes to deliver a package in the city. One thing that's great about this series is the beautiful art with beautiful settings. There's a lot of settings where you have parts of cities that are left abandoned with the vines growing all over them, or parts of cities that are now flooded and are now underwater. There's a lot of really beautiful locations and really beautiful dreamlike art that is always really great to look at. The story and the characters are really enjoyable, and the story is very relaxing and calming. Early on, a lot of the story focuses on Alpha and her interactions with the people living in the town. Most importantly, the children that lives there, especially a young boy named Takahiro, who she has a really close relationship with. A lot of the early chapters have her exploring around the town and spending her days with Takahiro, or her going on a journey through the countryside to deliver packages. It's really slow-paced and relaxed through the beginning parts. Later on, the series becomes a lot more bittersweet. You see the young children growing up and leaving the town for the big cities. And you see Alpha there unaging while everyone else grows up around her and leaves and moves on, or the older people die off, and she gets fewer and fewer customers at her cafe. You see time move on around her. She does have her companion Kokone, who's another android, to keep her company, so it's not all bad, but it is pretty sad to see the children grow up and move on when she was so close with the children when they were young. But the interactions between the characters are really well done, and you really care for the characters. And it just gives a really beautiful feeling when you feel like you see like kind of the sadness of, you know, time moving on, and you really actually see humanity in the manga kind of declining with time, and you see the sadness of things passing by, but you also have the happiness and the beauty of the good times that they share together. So it's a really unique manga, and I would definitely give this one a read if you have time. And then last up on the list is going to be Yuru Camp, or Laid Back Camp as it's known in the English version. This is the newest series on this list. The manga started in 2015 and has since received 2 seasons of anime adaptation. It also has a upcoming movie that will be coming out pretty soon that I have high hopes for. The movie looks like it is not going to be based on the manga, but will instead be based on the characters when they were a little bit older after a time skip. I'm really looking forward to that movie, but as of this time, we don't really know too much about it. Yuru Camp focuses on the main character, Rin, who is a girl who enjoys camping by herself. She likes to camp during the winter when there's less people around, so she does a lot of solo winter camping at locations where there's not a lot of people, and she just relaxes and mainly just reads or cooks new food and looks at the sights that there are to see around the campsite. One day she's camping and she meets a girl who just moved to the area named Nadeshiko. Nadeshiko comes to the campsite in order to see the view of Mount Fuji, but she falls asleep, and when she wakes up, she's there at night with no way to get back. She runs into Rin, who's camping there at the campsite, and she's intrigued by the young girl camping alone. They have dinner together, and Nadeshiko becomes interested in camping. When school starts, they realize that they are classmates, and Nadeshiko joins a camping club at school and meets some new friends that are also interested in camping. The series mainly just focuses on this group of girls who go camping together. The series is kind of like one of those cute girls doing cute things series, but it ends up being a little bit more than that. The interactions between the girls are really wholesome and great, with a lot of great moments and nice comedy thrown in. The series is full of camping tips and camping trips to real life locations and campsites that really make you want to try out camping yourself. The characters, especially Nadeshiko, have a really positive outlook on things, and their joy of life just really rubs off on you. It makes you feel good when you watch the series. So it's definitely a relaxing series, and it's definitely a series that will pick you up when you're down. So I would definitely also recommend this one as a Iyashikei if you're looking for some healing anime. And that's my list. Those are 5 must-see Iyashikei series. I would really appreciate if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me a lot and help people see the videos and will encourage me to make more in the future. It would really mean a lot to me, so please do. If you have any other recommendations for great Iyashikei anime, please comment down below. And then until next time, bye.